Keep your boats, give me a four-wheel drive any day. 200 years ago, that Billy Bligh came here, and he landed right over there somewhere, maybe up there too. And he came here in a longboat because Fletcher Christian gave him no option. I reckon his man management wasn't real good. And he came from all the way over there at Tahiti, right across to the Australian coast and bumped it right here. When he arrived here, this island didn't have a name. But after 2 days, when he left, it was called Restoration Island. And the reason for that was that Bligh restored all his food resources and got his water supplies from this island.
Bligh reached the island halfway up the east coast of Cape York Peninsula after surviving for 4 weeks in an open longboat with 18 men. And I suppose they couldn't believe their luck when they hit this place. Native fruits, nuts, yams, as well as prolific bird life. An uninhabited island which turned out to be a supermarket. Things haven't changed much, even today. In fact, the blacklip oysters were the very first things that Bligh and his men got stuck into.
These are those blacklip oysters. And they're pretty large and tough. But gee, they're worthwhile. There's just about a meal in every oyster. Look at this fella here. Bligh was pretty lucky that he landed here because the distribution of these oysters is pretty restricted. There you go. Whoop. Get another one. You can see that all the rocks around here have got these fellas on them. We've also got the old milky oysters over there, but these are the attractive ones because of their size. They're very high in iodine too. And gee, this one. I've opened some over the years and found a little bit of a pearl shell in some of them. I don't think I'll have that luck today, but the I was saying about that iodine. There's one there. Very high in iodine. And if you've got a bit of a foot rot, a bit of tinea, I guess the trick would be to put a whole bunch of these in your boots and walk around. Top stuff. There we go. That's him there. Just cut him away. Where is that?
It's hard to imagine what it would have been like for these men, so far away from anything familiar. But when you're hungry, I guess you'll have a go at anything.
When you have a look at Bligh's diary and have a bit of a read through it, you can botanically key out some of the species that he ate while he was staying here on Restoration. One of them was this fella here. That's the Wongai plum. And it really comes from way up in the Torres Strait. Up there they've got a bit of a legend for it. They reckon once you eat it, you've always got to keep coming back. And of course that's what happened to Billy Bligh. He got back to England, they dressed him up as a governor and sent him back out to New South Wales. So I guess they might be right up the top end there. A few years later, maybe 60, a bloke called Kennedy, over there on the mainland just over that way, was having a whole bunch of trouble trying to survive.
the same area where Bligh was having a feast, Edmund Kennedy was facing starvation. In 1848, Kennedy set out to explore from Rockingham Bay to the top of Cape York, and the odds were against him right from the start. The expedition was weighed down with tons of equipment, and this was as far as they got. Kennedy Hill. The going's hard enough here with just a pack on your back, but Kennedy had the works. He started off with 13 men, 27 horses, 3 carts, 100 sheep, and all their supplies. After months of struggle, 10 men finally made it to the top of this hill. Still hundreds of miles short of their destination. They were too weak and too scared of the Aboriginals to move into the bush and to look for food. And one by one, they died.
I look around here, up this way, that hill there, and another one over there, and those hills are all named after people who died in this area on Kennedy's expedition. In fact, there's a creek line over there called Glenny Creek, and that's named after the horse, Glenny. The horse starved to death as well.
This is how my work really started. I always wondered why Kennedy and his men perished, why they died with so much tucker around them. William Bligh managed okay because he landed right in the middle of a supermarket, over there, off the coast. Kennedy, on the other hand, was a couple of miles inland, and he never made any real attempt to bring his men down onto the coastline. Well, it seems the main reason for that was his fear of the Aboriginals, and they were the very people who could have helped him the most. This coastline of Cape York is as remote as ever. Even the Aboriginal people up here now live at a place called Lockhart River, a township with a general store. They don't live off the land, and their traditions are dying. Some of them used to live at the old Lockhart River Mission. It's a remote tropical paradise which has now fallen into decay. It was abandoned in the 60s when the Anglican Church handed over control to the Queensland government. But while the mission itself has died, the land around it is as rich as ever.
You want to have a look around now? Yeah, come on. Hey, we've got half a mango tree up here now. Which house do you live in, Harvey?
Right down another end there.
Another end there.